All right, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do the spark plug replacement. I'm not going to be really replacing the spark plugs. I'm just going to be pulling them off, and then I'm going to be reinstalling them. I got to do a pressure test, and we feel like we have a head gasket leaking into the combustion chamber. So we got a misfire in the morning, so every morning, or if it's just for a few hours. But I just want to keep you in mind. I'm going to reuse the old spark plugs, but at least this will give you an idea to show you how to replace the spark plugs in that sense. If they are bad, we'll go ahead and see what's going on, the condition of them. So I have a suspected head gasket leak, so we got to go ahead and test that out. We've been letting the car sit in there, so just keep in mind that. If you haven't already, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And we're going to go ahead and start this video right after the intro. So normally we would have an engine cover that would sit right here, and all you have to do is just kind of lift up and pull hard up towards the hood. And we have our ignition coils are right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each ignition coil has two 8mm bolts. So 2, 4, 6, and 8. This one is covered by the harness. We'll just have to move it over just a little bit. Also, maybe for this last one, we might need to disconnect the connector, but I think the rest of them we can just leave on the actual tab. So they have these little locking tabs. All you have to do is just grab your fingernail and just kind of work your way. Don't fully like press on it because it makes it hard. What I kind of say is just kind of flick it back, and you know, sometimes it might be stuck. I'm glad this one's stuck on there so you have an idea. So what I say, just kind of lift up the rear of it, and the rear of the clip, and then push back the tab. You might need to like walk it, so kind of move it back and forth. And then once you loosen up the tab a little bit, just go ahead and push down on the white clip, and then you'll hear like a little clicking action. If you don't hear it, just try pushing down the connector towards the ignition coil. So push down, push towards the ignition coil, and then pull back, and there you have it. Now don't yank on the wires. What you want to do is you want to grab the connector and pull the connector itself. All right, so we have all 4 connectors off, and remember, those are all 8mm bolts. So for the last one, I just kind of pull the harness towards us. So for each ignition coil, I'm just going to pull out. Just be careful when pulling up so you don't drop the screws. Now pay attention to your actual coils. See what's going on. We got some oil going on. So we got a valve cover gasket leak. Now if you wanted to mark down your coils and see which one goes where, what I would normally do is I would just line them up. So let's get that zoomed out. Now I'd basically put 4 right here, and then we would be putting, you know, 3 right next to it. You can put it in order so you don't mix anything up. It does not matter if you do mix it up. So if you just kind of want it for peace of mind. All right, so for this last one, we're just gonna kind of twist a little bit, and then I'm gonna lift up the harness just the hairline and pull it right over the ignition coil. Then we should be able to sneak this out. All right, so the valve cover itself is leaking pretty bad. So coming right over here, you can actually see, let's get some light up in there. You can see all the oil that's actually inside each one. So the valve cover itself is leaking. See that little puddle of oil? Okay, so you're gonna need a 14mm socket. If you don't have the spark plug tool, just because I'm not close to my tool set, I'm just being lazy, so I'm gonna use a regular 14 set. And what I would recommend you to do, if you do have oil inside, just put the socket over the actual spark plug, and then try to wipe off the remaining oil, and you just probably need to repeat this step a couple times. And from there, you will go ahead and just get rid of mostly all the mount. Now, if you have an air compressor, great. I would do that, but since I'm not close, I just got my work fan right here on that. So let's go ahead and clean that up, and then we'll go ahead and get right back to it. Each spark plug is like down in the little tube seals. The way how you're gonna get number 4 is gonna be just like this. Let's get a little bit zoomed in. All right, so you can see the little spark plugs are right there. It's kind of hard to show. Let's see if I can put a light. That's right there. So we'll just go ahead and loosen up these. And all these spark plugs are kind of like at a little angle. All right, so now you're gonna go ahead and get your magnet, and then we'll go ahead and pull out each spark plug. And god damn, those things are oily. Keep them in order just so you can pay attention to everything. Now, if you see your spark plug, sorry about the blurriness on the actual top piece. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this one. Let's see if I can grab it from over here. What you want to do is you want to grab the electrode tip. Let's see. All right, so I cut that. Then we got one last more to go. And voila. You would kind of pay attention to how your spark plugs look like. I know these guys are kind of a little oily. But yeah. These are NGK spark plugs, by the way. So you can actually use that part number. It'll be ILZNAR8A7G. So these are NGK plugs. If not, you can actually use that little top piece, the HYFS094YEC. Either part number would work, but these are actually NGK spark plugs. So I'm going to clean these up because we're going to be reusing them. Spark plugs not our issue. Our main issue is we have coolant leaking inside. All right, so I already did my pressure test and everything checked out fine. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the spark plugs. Now, if you don't have the spark plug socket, what you can do is we'll get our magnet and then we'll go ahead and slowly insert the spark plug. So at least try to drop it down in each hole. And then as you get it right there near the tube seal, you can either try to spin it a little bit clockwise, but if anything, just slide it to the right as fast as pushing down while sliding to the right, just like that. And then we're going to repeat that for the other ones. So same thing for this. You can get these magnets at any auto parts store. So push down, slide to the right. Then we're going to go ahead and recommend to the customer a valve cover gasket. Now for the last one was kind of a little bit tricky, but nothing too crazy. So now we're going to go ahead and tighten down the spark plugs. Make sure you hand thread in the spark plugs, or at least try to start the process of that. And I'll get you the torque specs at the end of the video, so don't worry about that. I'll get you those. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and put in our ignition coils. Now don't forget, if you have oil on your ignition coils, just go ahead and clean them up with the rag and some brake cleaner, if anything. So for this one, let's see if we can see that pretty well. All right, so for this one, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of pull it back while pushing the wire harness just a little bit towards the crank pulley, and then we're just wiggling the ignition coil quite around. And I'm not going to connect the connectors yet. We'll leave those disconnected. And then for the rest of the other ignition coils, now you need to make sure that the ignition coils actually get on the spark plugs, because you can do it where the ignition coil doesn't go on the spark plug, so you can miss that. And I'll show you right here how this one, so this one is there, but this ignition coil is like on the actual area, but you can still see the ignition coil. You see how you can see the spark plug, right? Just trying to make sure you guys see this. So you can see how the spark plug is being, so right there. So the spark plug is not being covered, but yet the ignition coil is not on it. So I pull this back just a little bit, just make sure that it's on there. So again, I just want to make sure you guys don't mix that up. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put on our ignition coils. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and connect our connectors. As you connect each one, try to pull back at the connector itself, push down the little clips. Make sure you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see that. So we should almost be done. And that's pretty much it. Ignition coil or spark plug replacement. All right, so for the spark plugs, they're going to be torqued down to 8 foot-pounds, and the little 8mm, I would say torque down those like 4 or 5 foot-pounds, right around there. If you want, I would just say tighten down those ones till like they're snugged, and then that's pretty much it. Then you'll go ahead and start the vehicle, call it a day, and that's pretty much it. If this video helped you out, thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.